So there are two major components to being an entrepreneur that we need to absolutely be on top of, and we need to align the two. And they are our inner game and our outer game. Now, if you're not on top of your inner game, you can pretty much guarantee it's going to impact your outer game, and vice versa. I'm Alison Vidotto, and today I want to talk to you about the inner and outer game and how we really need to align both so that we're really performing at our best. If you're not familiar with the term, the inner game is all about what's going on inside your head, because we know that's where all the magic happens. That's where we create our vision and clarity and our expanding beliefs, which is exactly the opposite of limiting beliefs. So what's going on in our head is where everything begins. You know, we start with thoughts and we end up taking thoughts and creating actions to make things happen. So if what's going on inside your head is not positive and it's not empowering and it's not making great plans for your success, that's going to show up when it comes to your outer game. Now, of course, your outer game is how you run your business. It's the tactics, the strategies, the procedures. I do love all of them, but they just don't come to life if you don't have a really strong inner game, for sure. It's a bit like working on your business, working in your business. When you're working on your business and on yourself, that's all your inner game. It's what you're telling yourself, you know, the stories inside your head, your belief that something's going to work. If you're sort of, this is never going to work, nobody's ever going to buy it, you know, usually you're pretty right. I think somebody famous said that, was it Henry Ford? If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So getting on top of your inner game is vital, because it's very easy to learn tactics and strategies. I love teaching them because businesses run beautifully with them in place. But if you don't have those beliefs and the vision and the clarity around the vision, then it doesn't matter how many strategies and tactics you've got, you're going to just keep hitting wall after wall after wall. So those beliefs are just absolutely vital. It all begins in your head, you know. What is it? There is another saying there for that one too. What you think impacts the decisions you make, and they impact the actions you take, and of course they impact the results that you get. So you need to have that inner game. And like I said, I love teaching all the outer game tactics, and there are lots of them, and they are phenomenal for businesses. There's a lot of research to support that. More strategies and procedures you have in place that you follow through and systemize, the more likely you are to succeed. But if your inner game is not performing well, you know, you're headed for strife, for sure. And one of the biggest things you can do for both your inner and your outer game is look at who is supporting you. Who is your support circle? Because from there, you're going to get insights and feedback and guidance and direction. And again, there's a mountain of research that proves people who have incredible success have also had strong mentors and support circles that actually help them gain clarity. I think clarity is one of the biggest things that we need in business. If we have clarity about our vision and our goals and our direction, we become pretty immune to things like bright, shiny object and overwhelm, because it's easy to stay focused. And if you're surrounded by really good people, then they're going to help you to maintain that clarity and that perspective. And when you start to veer off, they're going to help you come back in. So like I said, having that inner clarity is vital. So make sure you are clear about your vision and your goals. Make sure that you have perspective on what you're doing and how that fits in with your bigger goals. And make sure your beliefs about what you're doing and where your business is going are expanding beliefs. They're not limited beliefs. And if they are, pull them up. Ask yourself, why are you believing that? How do you shift that belief? And then work on that, which is a whole other video. But look at your inner game, look what's happening with your inner game, Look what's happening with your outer game. Are you on top of both aspects of your business? And I'd love to hear. So let me know in the comments. Bye-bye.